Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. You know, you can tell, literally tell, that a lot of people, they're not listening to me. They just simply not listening to me. Now, listen to me. For all you people out there that have challenges in your mind, and this is only for you. You know, again, I got on YouTube simply because I felt like I had something to offer to the community. I feel like I have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that if people would take the advice, that they would definitely benefit from it. Since I've been on YouTube, I cannot tell you how many people have thanked me for giving them the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, and the Holy Spirit's one gave them the conviction. You know, they actually got out of debt. Can you believe that? That means when, you know, besides the house, a few other small things, can you imagine being able to go to work and come home and keep the majority of all of your money? And if you want to pay a mortgage, that's up to you. But can you imagine that? Can you imagine how much relief that is to know that you're not in any financial bondage or dire straits? That is in itself is just deliverance. That is nothing but deliverance within itself. And they thank me for it because I had the spirit to get out there and to speak loud to these people and to tell them the truth. Because you have to understand the system that we all find ourselves in and we live in is not for us. They got you thinking, and I want you to listen to me real close. The system has you thinking that, I think that thing fell down on me. That's all right. I'll get it back up there, but I'll finish this video, okay? The system, that's the video holder. But anyway, the system got you thinking that you are proud to be an American. But they have something totally different in their mind than you do. Listen to me very closely, and I will try to educate you if you will allow me to. Listen, government cannot produce anything. I don't care if it's federal, state, or local. Do y'all hear what I said? Did you just hear what I said? If you can get that understanding, you've got half the battle conquered. Now listen to me again. And I'll use a life experience, a couple of them, okay? The other day, I was coming back from a round trip from South Carolina and Georgia, visiting the saints of the Most High, okay? And I tell you, they love their pastor. Boy, do they take care of myself, my wife, when I'm there. I tell you, it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. They fed us good. I'm honored to be able to meet the quality of the people, the type of people that we have while on this side of glory. Man, let me go ahead and say this. Listen to me. The other day I was coming back, and I knew that there was a certain speed trap in Red Boiling Springs, Tennessee. So I went ahead and stayed just a little bit over the speed limit. All right. And I saw the police before he decided to click on his radar detector. And I do have a radar detector. And I've been having this radar detector 10 years. And I know many of you people, what are you doing with a 10-year-old radar detector? It's probably about 14, 15 years old, if not 16. But I've had it for a very, very long time. Pastor, that thing is outdated and obsolete and everything. See, that's what you don't know. You know, before I usually do anything, I do my due diligence, I do an investigation, and I'm going to try to, you know, I don't mean to want to educate you, definitely on this right here, but I'm going to go ahead and volunteer this information. The radar detector that I run is a Valentine 1. And if you know anything about Valentine's 1, that's the reason why I have that radar detector. Because I can actually send that radar detector in every few years for an update. And I think the most I've ever paid for an update, that includes shipping and handling, round trip is $60. It usually averages about $30. The technology on a Valentine 1 is I can update it. You know, that's the kind of radar detectors the rich folks buy. Now, you're going to be out of pocket when you first buy one. But, man, I tell you, it's better than buying a $300 or $400 radar detector every single few years, isn't it, because of new technology, isn't it? Think about that for a second. So, anyway, back to this trip. I seen this cop before he decided to cut on his radar detector, and my radar detector wasn't recognizing it. So I went ahead and slowed down to about 2 or 3 miles under the speed limit. All right. While I'm 2 or 3 miles under the speed limit, all of a sudden he decides to to click on his radar tag. I'm thinking to myself, isn't that something? All right, so watch this. Watch this now. As I passed by him, because he was sitting on the side of the road, I look at him, and he looks at me, and he's smiling, and he waves at me. And I looked at him like this the whole entire way. Now, you might think that I'm a cop hater. No, I'm not a cop hater. Because all this speed trap and speeding and everything, it's all a game. It's all about gathering revenue. You see, the state, the government, you have to understand, police don't know that they're nothing but privates. They're nothing but money extractors, shakedown artists for the government. And the majority of these places where they have these so-called speed places, speed armor, speed trap, and they're sitting on the side of the road, hey, I can tell you there's a whole lot more crime going on in these cities, towns, parishes, counties where you live at than to be sitting out on the side of the road worried about trying to catch somebody going 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit. It's just ridiculous. So I looked at him like that because I know that it's a game. And see, now watch this. Do you know that that cop's attitude would have been totally different towards me if I went through that speed trap about 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit? I promise you he wouldn't have been smiling at me, the hypocrite. I promise you he wouldn't have been waving at me, the hypocrite. But I guess as long as I'm obeying what they call the law, oh, I'm all fine and good. I'm not an agitator or anything like that. Now, think about it for a moment. I said all that to say this. Watch this. I just got a call the other day, and I'm not going to mention the name. Somebody, I don't know all the details of it, but they ran head first, had a head-on collision with somebody, and I think the most they had out of it was a concussion. And you better believe this. Listen to me real close. If you are the people, if you are the regular citizen people out here, you getting ready to have the book thrown at you. That's why I keep talking about these austerity measures concerning income or concerning money. But you getting ready to have the book thrown at you. Oh, the police are there. They want to do a blood alcohol test. They're going to, and you people need to understand this. Anytime a police is speaking to you, there's no such thing as a lie in their book. Did y'all hear what I said? It's all about strategy. Anytime an attorney or a lawyer speak to you, whether it be in a deposition or just speaking to you casually or something related to the case, there's never a such thing as a lie in this system. It's all about strategy. So when these cops start talking to you, the only thing they're doing is extracting information out of you. That's what you got to get through your thick heads. They ain't your buddy. They're there to do a job. They're not your chum. They're there to do a job. They're not your pal. They're there to do a job. And they're definitely not your friend. They are there to do a job. And so there's no such thing as a lie. To them, it's called strategy. Whatever they got to say. So they'll say anything to get you to submit to a blood alcohol test. Like, for instance, under duress and coercion, they will threaten you with the removal of your license until you submit. Amazing, isn't it? But watch this. Not too long ago, we had some saints in the ministry that was involved in, they call it an accident. I don't call it an accident. I call it a collision. And definitely something that's still flighty and shaky. It was a Walmart truck up here on Highway 52. And this truck driver at 55 miles an hour hit a vehicle in standing still traffic, killed a family of 4. The truck driver did, of Walmart. And check this out. The 2 saints that was in my truck, the truck of the community, they got injured very badly. All right. And then 8 or 9 other people got injured from all this truck, because you got 70, 80,000 pounds crunching into a standstill traffic. People died and people got injured and hurt. Now, listen to me very closely. Remember what I said earlier. As a civilian, as a motorist or driver, they're already going to throw this guy in jail. But do you know that this Walmart truck driver, after killing 4 or 5 people, 8 or 9 people injured real bad, life flighted to the hospital, You know, this guy went home and slept that night and did not one day in jail. Go figure that out. Not one day in jail. And of course, I need to throw in, he had the good old boy sign on his window too, the Freemasons. All right? But he did not, after killing 4 people, a family of 4, and injuring 8 or 9 people seriously, he didn't, can you believe this? He didn't do one day in jail. Not one day. You know the reason why? Because he works for a corporation. The corporation that lines the pockets of these senators, these politicians who seek for your vote. You know how it is. You know the party. You know the game, don't you? They lie to you while they're campaigning. Then when they get in office, they don't do a damn thing what they say they're going to represent. See, unless I talk to you people like this, you're not going to think about this. You're not going to understand what's going on. And they want it that way for you. They want to make you think that you belong while they're raping you and robbing you every step of the way. This is the deception that you need to wake up to. This is the stuff you need to understand. So you need to understand that there's a system, there's a us and a them. And we, the people, are not part of them. They have a total different mindset. They've already operating under a different government, a different constitution, and you can tell when you go into their courtrooms. Oh boy, this is a long video education. I'll talk to you about this a little bit more later.